Oh my God, guys! I just finished watching AEW Dynamite almost an hour ago, and MVP has just officially made his AEW debut in a big way. I mean, my goodness. Tony Giovanni was interviewing Prince Nana, asking him the status of Swerve Strickland. And of course, Prince Nana mentioned that Swerve Strickland was mentally nothing could stop him, for being the baddest man there, and but physically he still wasn't clear to compete. And so, he talked a little bit about excuse me, sorry. He talked a little bit about, uh, where Stroke was, and he said whose house it was. And then out of nowhere, MVP came out. He mentioned all the setbacks that Swerve had as far as losing his AEW World Title to Bryan Danielson in the main event of All In, losing to, Hangman, well, getting his house burned down that he grew up in, um, by Hangman Adam Page, and then losing to Hangman Adam Page via ref stoppage at All Out. And rather than putting the blame on Swerve for all of these setbacks, when MVP came out, he simply blamed Prince Nana. He blamed him for it. He blamed him for the reason why Swerve was falling down, and he even basically implied that he would be the better suit for Swerve to really help Swerve get back on his feet. And he gave Prince Nana a card, basically, you know, uh, when he's ready to talk business, because he wanted to take Swerve out of Prince Nana's hands, especially, he mentioned of all the dancing and stuff that Prince Nana does. And, he just said how he can take Swerve to be back as a more serious competitor. So it was good. It was a good showcase for MVP. It was great to see him come. Man, I mean, this is definitely going to be very interesting how this plays out with MVP's uh, debut at Grand Slam here in a very stacked show. I mean, this show, was stacked. Um, right there, sir. And Nigel McGuinness had a really good match for the AEW, title. Brian Danielson, defeated him in a really good match. You had a lot of other stuff go down in this show. The Young Bucks and Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, really good match, furthering the dissension that's going to take place when Don Callis family turns on Ospreay, with them losing, with the tag belts on the line against the Young Bucks. Um, just a lot, that happened. But I really just wanted to talk about this because it really does seem like this is a slow build. You start to wonder with this offer MVP gave the Prince Nana, how exactly are they going to insert Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley when they do show up in AEW? Because it's going to happen. He's already trademarked a new name, as they can't use the Hurt Business name. The new name that they're going to use is not coming to my head currently. Um, I've seen what it is, but it's just not coming to my head the exact name. But man, this is going to be something here. I mean, you know, with this, and you can even see potentially in this version of the Hurt Business, because we know, the WWE version, you know, it started out pretty similarly, where MVP wanted to manage Bobby Lashley. He wanted to get him out of the hands of Lana when he was, married to Lana in kayfabe. And he was trying to get him out of her hands, and to help him, be more focused. and that was the starting of the group when he got Bobby Lashley, and then shortly after that, Shelton Benjamin joined the mix, which was really the most that he ever did coming back to WWE. To be completely honest, before that, he was teaming with Chad Gable, and they had a pretty solid run as a tag team. I do think they should have won the belts at least once or twice, but that did not happen for whatever reason. That just didn't happen, and so. And well, once they broke him up from Chad Gable, they pretty much just kind of had him lurking around. He wasn't really, doing as much after they broke him up from Chad Gable. But joining the Hurt Business for him really put him back on the map, and then also including Cedric at the time was a big move for him because the most that he had done up to that point was the stuff he did when he was on 205 Live as the cruiserweight champion. Back in 2018, that was the most that he did. So, you know, it definitely re-elevated everybody that was involved because eventually everybody in the group will go on to, well, first off, Bobby Lashley had a solid run with the United States Championship. And then, eventually Cedric and Shelton Benjamin won the tag belts. And when Bobby Lashley dropped because that's when they all were dripping in gold. Once they won the tag belts, that's when they were all dripping in gold at that point. And it was a really beautiful scene, to see that when they all had the gold. It was really a really nice scene to see. Um, and then when Bobby Lashley lost the United States title, he went on to win the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber. No, not the Elimination Chamber. What am I talking about? He beat The Miz on Raw to win the title in March of 2021. He beat The Miz. I believe it was on, what was it, March the 1st of 2021? I know it was in early March. He beat The Miz to win the WWE Championship. Um, so, I mean, it really did elevate, keep everybody together. Of course, at that point, once that happened, that's kind of not long after they kind of split the group. But it's going to be interesting to see because, Cedric, he's currently still in WWE. He signed a new deal. But it'll be interesting to see what this version with MVP talking down on Prince Nana, trying to take Swerve Strickland, what this version, will turn out to be, especially with Strickland possibly being the one to lead the group in this version. Perhaps he's the replacement of, Cedric, since Cedric is still in WWE. And then you insert Bobby Lashley at some point, you insert Shelton Benjamin at some point, and then you got yourself a new version of the Hurt Business. And it's interesting because in 2K, is it 2K23, they actually have the Hurt Business on there. And one of the members that they have is like Carmelo Hayes, but that never ended up happening, in real life. It did seem though like perhaps Bobby Lashley would have did something with him, before he wasn't, during the time that Carmelo was talking down. But that wasn't the case. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Really nice to see MVP. You know, unfortunately, things didn't really work out where he was. Well, he one of the things he was adamant on was that he wanted to bring back the Hurt Business, and it did not happen. And then also he had a problem when he was managing Omos, and apparently, some of the issues going on with that as well. But hopefully this time, things will go a lot more smoothly and gradually. this new version. I'm really looking forward to see how this is going to play out because, you know, I don't see Swerve immediately dumping Prince Nana, but I do think that when you consider now that the dance that he does is very popular, but you you would think though, especially with Swerve losing the title, losing the Hangman Page, perhaps this could be uh, a turning point for Swerve where he does decide he needs to step away from Prince Nana. And when you think about it, I mean, it was pretty much Swerve that got that all started. Once he turned his back on Keith Lee when they were a team, that was pretty much when he aligned himself with the Mobile Embassy and Prince Nana, and that's pretty much. I mean, that they weren't the original guys he was with. The original guys he was with actually did not last very long, but they became the ones that were a lot better. That you remember, um, and that's how that all started. But it'd be very interesting to see how things play out. I'm definitely looking forward to this whole how this unfolds. It definitely can be a huge jump start and big switch for Strickland at this point. So yeah, I just want to come on here and talk about MVP's um, debut. It was really well done how they did it, and the rest of the show, like I said, was really good as well. Just kind of pretty too tired to really go over all of it, other than just the fact that the main event was pretty crazy with Derby Allin and John Moxley, and now Mox takes the spot that was supposed to go to Derby Allin for a shot at the AEW World Title. So you got that going on. So there's a lot of high stake action, but it's for everybody chase guys like, subscribe. So you guys know, peace.